Hi, my name is Gracie Wessels, and I'm working on my Girl Scout Gold Award project. My project focuses on inclusiveness, and I'm working with the organization called Ainsley's Angels. Ainsley's Angels is an organization that helps disabled people participate in distance races. I raised money to buy a freedom chair, which is a chair just like this that helps people run in races. I'm also going to read this book called Born an Angel by Briley Rossiter. Briley Rossiter is the older sister of Ainsley Rossiter, who is the girl who inspired the creation of Ainsley's Angels. I'll also be donating this book to several local elementary schools. When I found out that I was going to have a little sister joining our family of 3, I was afraid. Before she was born, I was the only child and never left my mom's side. Being her only child, I was her favorite child, and I did not want to share her with anyone. I was only 2 years old when my baby sister was born. We named her Ainsley. Once I saw her and how tiny and innocent she was, I did not mind sharing Mom with her. Ainsley was absolutely beautiful. Who would have ever guessed on the cold December night when Ainsley entered our world that my life would change forever? For years, Mom had dreamed of having 2 little girls. They would play dress up, have tea parties, and play with dolls for hours on end. Mom would get to experience her very own little princesses, laughing, running around the house, and growing up together. She'd make us tea and cut toast in little triangles while we imagined life as members of the royal family. Mom's dream only lasted for a little while, as by Ainsley's 2nd birthday, she still wasn't walking. Mom, Dad, and I knew that something wasn't right. We brought Ainsley to the hospital, and she had test after test and therapy upon therapy. Nobody knew what was wrong. I was really scared and realized that I was still afraid like I was before Ainsley was born, but now in a different way. The sister I didn't think I wanted to begin with, I now knew that I didn't want to be without. It's sort of funny how things change as time passes. After months of testing, I found a doctor who knew what was wrong with Ainsley. He was a neurologist and had only heard of one other case like it in all his years of medicine. He explained that Ainsley is only one of a few people in the United States with a disease called infantile neuroaxonal dystrophy, INAD, an illness as ugly as it sounds. INAD is an extremely rare genetic disorder that causes Ainsley's nerves to slowly stop working. The doctor told us that she had a life expectancy of only 5 to 10 years. As quickly as my life changed with Ainsley when Ainsley entered my world, now it changed again. Ainsley is different than me, but she is still my little sister. Ainsley rides in a wheelchair and is unable to walk and talk. She doesn't play for fun and cannot laugh with her friends. Ainsley isn't able to go to school, but has a teacher that comes to her house once a week to read and do crafts with her. She can no longer eat through her mouth, so Mom and Dad feed her using a special tube that goes right into her stomach. Our goal is to make Ainsley's life as memorable as possible for her, and to make sure she enjoys every moment. One day, Ainsley's physical therapist introduced our family to a local running group that participated in road races. The group was called Team Hoyt Virginia Beach and was inspired by Massachusetts native father-son team Dick and Rick Hoyt. The Hoyts have become world famous because Rick Hoyt has spent his entire life in a wheelchair, and Dick pushes him in races from start to finish. They have competed in over 1,000 races. The physical therapist told us that Team Hoyt Virginia Beach wanted to create athletic events that disabled children and adults can compete in and enjoy with able-bodied participants. Their goal is to create events such as 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and triathlons. These disabled athletes pushed and pulled over land and through water using special equipment. We learned that the disabled athlete is referred to as the captain, while the pusher is known as the angel. She gave us their website and address and the date of their next race. Our whole family left the physical therapist's office with a huge smile on our face and warm feelings in our hearts. Mom would finally get to see her little princess playing together as she once imagined. After watching my sister participate as a captain with so many other disabled children and adults, watching them being pushed by angels, including our own dad, I became inspired to run too. Running was something that no one thought Ainsley would ever be able to enjoy, let alone something that we would enjoy together. After sitting on the sidelines for her entire life, Ainsley was finally able to go, to run, to roll with the wind. I began running alongside my dad and Ainsley nearly every weekend and became the youngest angel on Team Point Virginia Beach. I quickly learned that running in races was fun, but it was also a lot of work and could be extremely nerve-wracking. Ainsley and I would stand with the other competitors, waiting for the starter's gun to go off. I could feel my heart begin to race before we even rolled across the starting line. I know that Ainsley's heart was beating fast too. I would often find myself at the starting line with Ainsley, waiting for our race to start. Imagine this. I'm stretched out and hydrated. 5, booms the voice of the race director behind the microphone. My shoelaces are tied into 2 tight knots. 4, my race bib is securely fastened to my shirt. 3, the restless crowd falls silent. 2, I order myself to calm down as I take one final deep breath. 1, I bend over the jogging chair ready to strike. The horn blows, signaling the start. Let's do this, Ains, I yelled to Ainsley over the roar of the crowd. And off we go. Since Ainsley and I ran our first race, together we have participated in nearly a dozen races. Ainsley and my dad have done nearly 40 races of varying lengths, from 5Ks, 8Ks, and 10Ks to half marathons. They even competed in the Marine Corps' full marathon together in Washington, D.C., which is an amazing 26.2 miles long. Ainsley and I even competed in a 5K alongside Dick and Rick Hoyt themselves. Dad said watching us cross the finish line and step with the Hoyts was one of the highlights of his life. I think Ainsley probably feels the same way. Crossing the finish line and step with the legends that made all of this possible was a memory to behold. Nearly everything that I've been able to do in my life, Ainsley cannot do. Ainsley can't walk or talk or laugh. She can't jump or play with dolls, ride a bike, or chase butterflies. She can't even truly participate in the tea party that Mom envisioned for so long. But there's one thing that Ainsley is able to do better than anyone I've ever met. One thing that I could never begin to do without her, and one thing that she certainly does even better than me. Ainsley inspires. Ainsley has inspired thousands of people all over the country. You can't meet Ainsley without being inspired, and you always leave with a smile on your face, the familiar lump in your throat, and warmth in your heart. Recently, the legend of Ainsley grew even larger and wider as she inspired yet another person, our aunt. Like everyone else that Ainsley meets, our aunt was inspired to do something amazing. After watching all the fun that we were having running with Ainsley in Virginia, she started running and spreading Ainsley's inspiration in Louisiana, where our family roots remain. After experiencing the joy of pushing Ainsley in a race chair, our aunt and Ainsley's former preschool teacher in North Carolina joined with Dad and several others to create 2 running groups similar to Team Point Virginia Beach. They are called My Team Triumph, Ainsley's Angels of Southwest Louisiana, and My Team Triumph, Ainsley's Angels of Eastern Carolina. These 2 groups are among 15 other My Team chapters across the United States. Ainsley has inspired many others, from family and friends to neighbors and doctors. She inspires nearly everyone who has the pleasure to meet her. It's hard to imagine that one day our Ainsley will be gone, a day closer to us than I choose to think about. But as I sit and think about all the people that she's touched, I realize that Ainsley will leave behind a beautiful thing, a legacy that will live forever. Love you, Angel. The end. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to hear more about Girl Scouts, go to girlscouts.org, and if you want to hear more about Ainsley's Angels, visit ainsleysangels.org.